Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.
Easy.
I am already there, guys. I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in the thing zone already.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god! Photosensitivity.
Like The Exorcist.
Trigger warning for anybody who's susceptible to epilepsy. Okay,
I'm done with that one.
Okay.
Sorry to all the epileptic.
All right. It is one fucking hour time, of course, and guys, this is the show where we talk about one fucking movie for 1 fucking hour, and what a one fucking movie it is that we're going to be talking about tonight. It's debatable if it's...
This movie's only about an hour long.
Yeah. Right. And debatable if it's a movie. No, it is. But anyway, I am Evan Husney. Welcome to the show. Of course, we got Tom Fitzgerald in the house. What's going on, Tom? I like that. Okay, that's good.
That's what's going on.
That's good.
Okay. That's awesome.
That's a thingy. That's a little thingy.
It's a little thingite. And we got a major thingite to my right. Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the show. So awesome to have you back, Joey. It's Joey Izzo. What's going on, man?
Hello. Hey, Evan. Hey, Tom. Great to be here with this fabulous movie.
Oh,
good to be back.
Mahalo.
For this of all.
In some ways, this episode is like 15 years in the making, 15 plus years in the making. So this is really exciting. This movie kind of unites the three of us in some weird way. I think we're all kind of connected through this movie in some way. So it's very special.
Well, in a way, it's funny that we did Sledgehammer first last year.
Yeah.
And not this, and not Things. But they're both of a kind. Like, well, we'll talk about it, but like Evan hoodwinked me into the 2 DVD releases he did of those 2 films.
I know.
I'm just like wandering into frame like, oh, what is this? And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll definitely talk about that.
There's some history here, folks.
Absolutely,
right.
but we have to address the obvious here. Our usual listeners are probably wondering, what? Where's Marcus? Marcus?
Yeah. Well, he's fired. Frankly,
he was let go.
He was
embezzling our Patreon.
We came to a separation agreement just moments ago. No, Marcus, scheduling conflict. Unfortunately, I had to get this out. It's actually my fault. I had to get this episode in tonight, and tonight was like the one night he couldn't do. He sends his regards. There's actually going to be a little Marcus cameo a little later on in the episode, so stick around. We're going to have him here anyway, one way or the other. All right, so yes, if you've been watching the last few weeks this month, it's been one fucking Tober. We've been covering horror movies all month, and this is kind of the main event. This is the headliner, and as far as I'm concerned.
Baby.
So everybody get ready. Get ready. This is the main stage, Ozfest main stage. Here we go. We are episode 45, talking about, I'm so happy this is a sentence, 1 fucking hour on Things. Things. Okay. All right. So let's do it. I'm going to start that clock. Are you guys ready for this shit or what?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
All right.
I'm going to Things school. Like, Evan, you said last week you went to Ganja and Hess school. I don't know anything about this film, so take me to Things school.
All right.
Let's go.
We will. But you know more than you think. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, that's very true. All right.
I know everything just by watching things.
Exactly.
The zen
I've already learned it.
Yeah, the zen of
Maybe
things.
you already had the dream. Maybe you already had the baby. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we're about to find out.
Right.
All right. Guys, I'm starting this clock. And then I'm gonna kick it off. Okay. Boom. All right. I thought it'd be fun, a little bit of a challenge. There's probably going to be some people tonight who've never seen or heard of Things that are going to be watching this / listening to this. But I thought it would be a fun exercise to kick off this very special episode to throw it to you, Joey. Now, you are kind of a patient zero here of Things in many ways, but I want you to freestyle for the good people listening right now as sort of a mini challenge. Okay. What is the synopsis of Things?
Yeah, okay. Listening.
All right. So
give it a shot.
All right. So Things is a 1989 Canadian horror movie that is about Dawn and Fred, and they are buddies, and they go to a cabin to see their third buddy, Doug, and Doug is going through a tough time. Doug's wife is trying to have a baby, and she is linked up with a madman doctor by the name of Dr. Lucas, who inseminates her with a kind of demon seed creature. He's conducting all these like strange experiments.
Get out of there, Fred! Get out! You're surely gonna die! Get out! Ah!
Then we go back to Doug and Don and Fred, and they get to the cabin and they start hanging out with Doug. Thank you very much. Yeah. They start hanging out with Doug in the cabin, having fun, drinking some beers.
What the fuck? Didn't you dorks bring any food?
Making some sandwiches.
Best part
They go into the weird stuff's happening. Okay. They're hanging out, but also, they go into the fridge and they find a tape recorder with some demonic spells on it. And they find a book and they start doing a seance, and then they start hearing some sounds from another room, and they open that room and it's Doug's wife who's giving birth to a spawn of creatures that look like little spider demons crawling around. And so then basically the rest of the movie is focused on these three buds. Some fall off. Well, we could talk about that, but basically these three buds are trying to defeat these things and are trying to kill them and save each other in the process.
Joey, you I think are, like I said, patient zero with this movie. I don't know anybody who knew about things back when you knew about things. Okay, so you're the first. You are things. Wow. Yeah, he's king shit with things. So, tell us the story about how you stumbled across this movie, and how it became a part of your life.
Yeah, so I was a huge horror fan and would rent movies all the time. And there was a couple of different places to go to, but if you really want a good horror movie, you had to go to this place that was like a couple towns up from where I live, like 20 minutes away. But it was a Hollywood video franchise that just so happened to have like either absorbed another rental store or just had a killer horror section.
Hollywood videos were really good for that. They were loaded for bear. They were great.
And I mean, so like one summer, my brother and I just decided to go A to Z in the horror section and rent them and watch all of them. And so we got to T and found this little guy.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Beauty.
And dude, check. All right. So
that is beautiful. The Hollywood video insignia.
Yeah,
that's
in
awesome.
Oh, it's on the.
That's cool.
Fine there.
That's killer. That's legit. So that's it.
So this happened.
But so how do you have it though? I mean, is it still? You still have it out?
Well, so I kept renting it and showing friends, and like it immediately struck. I just had never seen anything like it, and was like kind of obsessed with it. And so then I tried to get them to sell it to me, but they wouldn't, and because it was the only copy. And so I just ended up saying that I lost it, and I paid a little fee and it was mine. Sure. But then, years later, Evan and I were working at Amoeba, and Evan had incredibly similar interests as mine, like all across the board. So it was inevitable that things would have come up, and I kind of would throw it to you, Evan, to kind of take it from here. But
patient zero.
Yeah. So I introduced it to Evan.
Where was this, if you don't mind?
San Francisco. Oh, San Mateo, like peninsula of the Bay Area.
Okay.
So kind of near the airport. I
thought maybe he was bordering Canada or something. Where you
no, yeah.
Because how far did this VHS go? I guess it went all the way to California.
It sure did.
Yeah, they had some distro in the U.S. and Canada, but yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask just real quick, because you're talking San Mateo. What year are we talking here? What year is this?
This would be when I found it. It was probably 2000. Year 2000.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Killer.
Maybe 1999, but around then. And then and then I think I kept renting it probably for a couple of years before I ended up just like, all right, enough already.
Amazing.
Great.
Amazing. Amazing.
And then you
So,
lost it.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I guess, it was never commercially available. And so all like original copies that have circulated, I only found one on eBay, and it was a Hollywood video rental, actually.
Oh, shit. Okay. It was exclusive probably to the chain. They had some deal, and it never was like, $59.95 or whatever.
And this story of stealing, I mean, maybe we'll talk about this more, but in the article, in one of the first articles to talk about things, they discuss how a friend of theirs that introduced them to it had stolen it from a video rental store.
So there you go.
So, there's some weird, it seems like a hive mind of people were doing this.
Well, we should.
Well, I guess it's the only way to get it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredibly rare tape, and I have one somewhere too. One of the ones, same copy you have.
Nice.
But so this is what happened. So we got to know each other. Joey and I got to know each other working at Amoeba, working in the video room, holding that shit down, slinging DVDs. In the mid 2000s, and and around that time, he was hipping me to things, but it was kind of my palate hadn't really developed yet enough for something like things. I was more stuck into 70s cinema, world cinema, being a little pretentious asshole that I was back then. And then later on, when I started actually to cross paths with you, Tom, at the theater, and got into Sledgehammer and got into shot on video horror movies and all this weird wild world of
Polonia Brothers.
Polonia Brothers. Yeah, of course. All that stuff, and then I really started to develop like a palate for that, because these are kind of like accidental art movies in a way. It's kind of, like what they are. That's the effect they have when you're watching them, because it's unlike anything when you're watching these kind of zero budget films like Things or Sledgehammer, like we've covered previously on the show. But anyway, that inspired me to take it one step farther. So, first, let me say how I first was introduced to Things. Okay, so Joey had told me the backstory of this crazy, weird movie, and I was probably at the time like, I don't know, whatever. And then I saw a clip of it on YouTube, which I do want to fire up. I want to show you the exact moment that I saw. That was like, holy shit, I need to see this movie.
2006, 2007 YouTube.
Exactly.
This was a way ago.
Yes. This was the only clip. Like now you'll see it flooded. It's just covered with stuff, but like this was the only.
This was the only
what freak
clip.
Did that?
I don't know. It was the only clip online. So I think it perfectly sums up. It's the most digestible little 30 seconds of Things, so you kind of get a sense of the type of movie we're talking about here, just because there's been a lot of build-up. But for those who haven't seen it, this is pretty emblematic of the Things experience. So let's just sit back and enjoy this for 1 second.
Come to pay a social visit. How's Susan feeling?
Social visit? Susan, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm Dr. Lucas, down from Grizzly Flats.
So you're the fucking bastard, huh? Susan's dead, everybody's dead, all because of you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you. There's hundreds of creatures around this goddamn hellhole. All because of you. Do you want to see some blood? First off, take a look at this door.
Oh, God, what a horrible mess.
Like Kung Fu movie?
This is ghastly,
totally.
brutal, horrible, insane.
Amazing.
Blood and guts, that's all that's left of her.
Or like video game cutscene vocals.
That's human blood, all right.
So
I will defeat you.
So I obviously could have kept that going on and on, but in that clip, you'll notice, obviously, it's a very Canadian film. Hey, what you fucking doing, all right? Or whatever he says. You're seeing ADR. You're seeing a lot of overdubbing, which is like, holy shit, otherworldly.
Yeah.
You're seeing
and the most destroyed concept of dubbing ever.
Yes.
Everyone is completely separate sounding.
Yeah.
It's totally unnatural.
Yeah.
Different room sounds, volume problems. You know?
God. But we gotta get the fuses in. Where are they?
There!
Oh
You're noticing
like 60 cycle hums.
Yeah, and you're also noticing
time.
like the garbage tarp windows, which is very like they're using blue tarps as like curtains, which is very like dirtbag Canada to me in a lot of ways. So that's very emblematic of just the experience of the movie. You're like, holy shit! So I saw that. I had to order the DVD directly from the website of the two creators of the film.
They had a DVD.
They did, yeah. They had they had a website.
2008 or something.
No, this would have 9, 8, 9, and it was somewhere around there. They had a website, things1989.com, I think is what it was, or .net probably. And they had a DVD, so I ordered it. I saw it. I fell in love with it. And then at the same time, I was starting my own DVD label, releasing Sledgehammer. I wanted to create sort of like a whole label of all of these types of films, and Sledgehammer was going to be part of it, and Things, and so on and so forth. And so I did release it. I reached out to these guys, and we made a deal and released the film on DVD and VHS.
Did anyone buy it?
They did.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, good stellar. Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It had a great cover. I mean, the cover was incredible.
Yeah, I like the cover.
And it was so much fun. It was so much fun getting to know them and producing special features with them. And yeah. Oh, do you got it? That's the VHS.
This is the VHS.
That's the VHS
That's
we
the
did.
same look as the DVD, right? The cover.
And then this is the DVD.
That's the. Oh wow, you got them both. Perfect.
Yeah, right.
I got them.
I have that too. Yeah.
So that was the
Evan,
deal.
just to go full circle, is I think you had mentioned this before recently that you had some really insane experiment to throw me to the wolves, and just I somehow became the commentary for this film, which really says a lot about this film.
Well, yeah.
Random guy who had never seen it is the commentary for Things. So that was a fun night, and you weren't even there. And two individuals started with me and then walked off, and I was the last man standing.
It was you, you and David Chen wrote it out, and it was amazing.
Right,
and David Chen, shout out David, he's a great guy, he's a good friend of ours.
And forever, man.
And David Chen is an awesome 1 fucking hour listener too. He listens every week.
Get him on here.
We have to.
Yeah, you
David,
should.
if you're listening, you're up next. But anyway, let me play a sample of this, just because I'm feeling it right now.
Also, I've never listened to this commentary.
So
ever.
It was. I think you guys started watching the film at 1 a.m. and then recorded a commentary track to it, sight unseen. So it's proto reaction video. But what was so great about
you invented
this,
the genre of the reaction video. Yeah, it was probably more than 1 a.m. It was like 2 or something. It's really psycho.
I'm going to play two clips throughout the evening, but I'm going to pick one for right now just because we're on the subject. You really freaked out about the music in this film, which is a standout, which we're going to talk about. We're going to get into the film here.
Strychnine.
Yeah, Strychnine. We're going to get into the music. And Familiar Strangers. We're going to get into that right after this clip.
Right.
So we're going to get diving into the movie right after this. But this is Tom, audio commentary track from circa 2010, 11, talking about the music in Things. So here we go. This is great. Great reaction video to this.
Oh, it's great music. It's like dissonant bells and like fuzz guitar. Seriously, guys, release the soundtrack. Oh! Fuck me.
That sounded
This is
absurd.
so
at the
amazing.
time to me.
Oh, this is good. I can safely say this reminds me of nothing I've ever seen. Not quite. Not quite. Like fuzz bass, dirge, post-punk with like a pizza delivery boy freaking out at dawn running around the woods.
I remember that actually. Yeah.
That was good. That was a good time. So highly recommend that if you
That's
get the
so
DVD, check out the commentary track on there. Tom has a lot of good one-liners on there. So
Sounds fun,
anyway,
man. That sounds fun.
so Joey, should we get into the backstory of the actual movie, not our own backstory? Let's sort of talk about this because Things, man, it's a fucking trippy ass experience, and we're gonna start getting into it here in a second. But you know, we were mentioning this idea of homemade horror, right? And a big thing in the '80s, right, Tom, was a lot of fans, big fanboys, you know, inspired by what? Evil Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Mostly Evil Dead. Very. I think
this film has a lot of Evil Dead hints. You know that they like. It's probably the movie that they're talking about. Like, what's that movie that's weird and all those people are in that room and it was like weird. I always imagine they're referring to Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 because it's a low budget movie, so they thought they had a chance. But then it all started feeding on itself, and all these they're called SOVs. You know, it became a real phenomenon.
It did because I think also with Evil Dead, it was this thing where it wasn't a hit until it hit video. Then everyone was like, "Oh shit, there's a lot of money to make on video," and so I think Things was kind of a similar origin story of fanboy horror guys who wanted to get together, make a movie in their backyard, and try to make some money on it, right? And this movie, Joey, is not like just filming on the weekends. I mean, they raised some money for this thing. Like
it's like 35K, right? Or something around there.
35, 40K. Yeah. No joke. And
I was really thinking like $3,000.
I know.
The SOV connection is actually a kind of inspiration or an impetus for them to make the movie. Like Barry Gillis talks about seeing Boarding House, kind of seminal SOV.
Sorry.
But it
Barry helped all of us out,
Yeah,
Barry
casually dropped that name.
The lead. He's the terrified pizza delivery boy at dawn. The lead.
Yes, correct, sir. Yes. Yeah, he's the lead, and he's also kind of co-writer, and he's the second unit director. I mean, that's also a kind of an enigma. Is like who actually really? I mean, Andrew Jordan has the directing credit, and he probably did. I mean, I don't know. I get a sense that it was more collaborative in spirit. Like everybody is sort of steering the ship forward. So, and because Barry is sort of associated as almost like the creative signature of the movie in a way, because he's on the publicity and he's the face of it. And he's also the star. So that is somewhat of an enigma, like who really, but I don't really think that there was one voice. I think it's really a kind of a collection of buddies. But
if I can
what do you think of it?
Well, if I can say, Barry Gillis is like the producer, co-writer, like you said, kind of person, but he's also the face of it because he did do television appearances to promote the film. So he's the one they put out to do the PR for the film.
Like he was on Arsenio, right? This is what you were saying earlier. I misheard that.
Yeah. Well, we are gonna show a clip of that too. But Andrew Jordan is, like you said, the guy credited as directing the film, and he's kind of an enigmatic sort of persona in this whole process.
Is he one of those slobs?
Well, no. I mean, that's it's worth. I'm telling, getting this DVD because in the special features, there's a reunion and there's some clips of him and other stuff. But this reunion, Andrew Jordan's there, Andy Jordan, and Andy's there, and I mean, he's just wearing these
dark
glasses. Kind of dark maroon matrix kind of glasses, and he's just has a different temperament than everyone there. He's and what he says about the movie kind of contrasts with everything else. Like Andrew Jordan and this could be Monday night quarterbacking on his part, which is still fine, but it's worth kind of bringing up that Andrew Jordan thinks of Things as like a postmodern horror movie, and that he's
he's getting high in his own supply.
Yes, very much.
He's like an auteur.
I love that. He claims to like John Waters and a lot of his interests.
Intentional. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I do think that Andrew Jordan balancing out the Barry Gillis of it all. I think Andrew Jordan, his sincerity, I will say, makes the movie have a little bit more of an outsider quality rather than just a goof, like where a lot of backyard films are just let's go out in the backyard and let's goof around with the camera. I think he gives the film some weight a little bit by because 100%. He is He's more, he just has more sincerity. So interesting you mentioned Boarding House. We should just back up to that because that reference is pretty crazy. Yeah. So here's the origin story, okay? Barry J. Gillis, who, we just talked about, he gave an interview in Cinema Sewer magazine, which is amazing, a zine, which is awesome. And Barry said, Andrew and I met in political science. Andrew had a Fangoria magazine.
What happened was Andy had these horror magazines that he used to bring into the classroom, and I don't know, I every time he brought them in, I'd start to kind of look over, but I never really went over to talk to him. And he used to wear this jacket with a Black Sabbath patch on the back in school, so I knew who he was because I liked that band too. But when we ended up in that same class, it was funny because girls would be going over there looking at these pictures and everybody would be grossed out.
And Andrew said he had a VCR and lots of horror movies. We ended up watching Boarding House and decided we could make a movie.
Boarding House, rated R.
Now, Boarding House is a shot-on-video, the first shot-on-video horror film to ever be released theatrically. So it's a crazy.
Let's clarify that. It's even weirder. It got it's shot on videotape, and it was released as such. In the home markets, VHS. But it was actually played theaters. It was transferred to 35 millimeter.
Insane. It
looks played
insane.
Like Times Square.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
It's insane.
Maybe one of the only, right? I mean,
I haven't heard of any others.
Yeah. So they ended up watching Boarding House. Then Barry begged his dad to buy a video camera, and we started making a movie called Brutal Violence. We did not know what we were doing, so it was a disaster. I moved to Cape Breton Island, which is in Nova Scotia, and Andy and I always said if we came up with the money, we would make a movie. Andy then called me one day and said his parents were going to give him $3,000 to $5,000 Canadian that they could make a movie cheaply and on with Super 8. So things is shot on Super 8. We're talking about shot on video horror movies tonight, but this is a shot on Super 8 film.
Can I just say, I wanted to make a point. I like SOV, but it is another notch with Super 8. There's a few other examples, but that just is that makes it another special element to things. It's not the same old camcorder look,
Agreed.
It's got hairs and they're dirty and it's film. It's warm, but it's wrong ass. It's great.
Totally. So the whole movie was shot on Super 8 except for Amber Lynn's part, and Amber Lynn is a adult film actress who's in the film. And I think that was in 16 millimeter, those scenes. But they were shot in 1 hour, and they paid her $2,500 to do it. And that's what convinced...
To do what?
Well, she's in the film as a newscaster.
Not to bog this down.
Yeah.
To do what? I.e., to give an update on George Romero's fight in the Supreme Court for copyright.
George Romero, director of such hits as Dawn of the Dead and Creepshow, is once again taking his copyright case to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Which has nothing to do with what you have seen so far or after. That's an example of Amber Lynn's news reporter role.
It's weird.
Film.
It's weird.
It adds an extra dimension of disorientation. And I'm sure she was completely confused. And I hope somebody interviews her because I just wonder what she was thinking, because I'm sure she's never seen the film things or any of the other footage, and has no idea the context that she's putting this in.
No, okay. This was a payday for her. She got paid to do this, and it was part of the scheme to get the distributor to put up the money for this movie. And so they were able to raise money on this movie very smartly with just showing them very limited things here and there, The fact that Amber Lynn's in the film, and they got them to and ad slicks, they got them to basically pay for this movie, showing them very little until that they actually put enough money into the movie that they actually had to then release the movie, or else it would have been a total loss.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
And they wound up, and they saw later this is a movie where the footage cuts off mid-word, mid-sentence. It's so disoriented and jumbled. We can't emphasize that enough. I mean, we only have an hour here, but just the film starts on a wrong foot and ends on a wrong foot. He did bravely give a synopsis, but it's only just barely skeletally applying a narrative to this, which is otherwise just milling about, non sequiturs.
Ah, fuck! I hate mosquito bites.
Paintings, taking a tour of the paintings, one of them being given by the Queen of England, I've been told.
Yes, those are the director's paintings.
Those are the directors.
Andy Jordan.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a question.
So more, you get this. I think there's this, it's a kind of like a yin yang between Barry and Barry Gillis and Andy Jordan. That's
really interesting.
It's one of those elements that's thrown in there that now knowing that Andy Jordan, it's like there's a kind of darkness, a broodingness, or like some element at play that grounds it with some heart.
No, it's really fascinating to me, and I had no idea because I thought it was all blue-collar gorehound yahoos exclusively. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you? But to add like an art school dropout 80s like guy, that really adds like a seismic, disorientation, because he probably was what is it, riding into the curve of the disorientation of a cheap film and like kind of like getting meta about it and just like not fighting it so much as just like, hey, let's go with it. I mean, everything sounds haphazard and crazy. The editing's a nightmare. Like we said, the VO is just a disaster in terms of technicality, but maybe he was at least thinking that it has a dream quality, and maybe he is thinking, oh, it's like Multiple Maniacs, like you said before.
Right.
That adds another layer to this dementia.
Yeah, there's an ambition definitely there.
Wow. Okay.
And it's kind of like the movie's just like not just a beer movie. It's like beer and acid or something. Like there's these other qualities there that are like, affecting each other, making each other better in a way.
Totally, because it's like, they're drinking beer, okay, in the kitchen, but at one moment, some guy opens the freezer and he finds a tape recorder in the freezer.
Exactly.
And that's just like surrealism, dirtbag surrealism 101. And
Well, and to mention just a little bit on the plot, like the plot, almost giving a synopsis to this is a total joke, because the movie, if you parse it out, it is basically the plot that I said. But nobody is here for the plot of things. And the filmmakers themselves don't even really care, because I tried to like map it out, and that's like kind of the core story, but there's these like major caveats, and one being that like are unknowable if they're a part of, they feel like suggestions, like maybe you could interpret this, but it's like primarily the news footage contradicts so much stuff that's going on in the plot.
Everything.
Yeah, and you have the tape recorder seance. Nothing necessarily comes of that, but it feels like a big moment.
Well, can I just to drill down in this a little bit? I was the guy. I said from the outset, I have nothing but questions. I know nothing about this film, and you guys know a little more. So let's maybe get into the nitty gritty of the film.
Can I do one thing before we do that? I'm sorry, I hate to be the guy.
Please go.
I think one last button on just the Andrew and Barry of it all. Then I want to spend the last half hour just pure film and the scenes and everything. I just wanted to play for the good people a clip of Barry Gillis, because everything you're saying, Joey, about Andrew, we've covered. Now let's show the other side of the coin. Barry Gillis, he's
good
the
call.
thing. He's your more stereotypical, sort of Canadian horror fan, we'll call him. Mm-hmm. And he made some TV appearances to promote this movie. And again, there's that ambition right there. These guys got on television to promote this freaking movie, which is crazy. But it's very charming. It's very charming to see Barry talk about the movie. He's obviously a little nervous, and it's kind of adorable to see it, so many years later. But here's Barry Gillis talking about things on two different programs. I chopped them up so it's quick, but here you go. This gives you a good sense of who Barry Gillis is as a person.
Barry Gillis joins me in the studio now. Barry, for a young man, you're involved in some pretty gory things here. Yeah. Can you tell us about this movie and how you got involved?
Well, it's a very gory and horrific movie. I got involved through a friend in Toronto that I met in acting classes. And he phoned me up one night around 2 a.m. and said, "Are you still interested? Are we going to be partners?"
He was having a nightmare, obviously.
Well, I was sleeping and just phoned, and it happened like that. Well, Things is a 90-minute independent production. It's a very brutal and bloody movie.
The storyline deals with a medical experiment and birth of small creatures.
It was produced for the home video market and also First Choice Super Channel, which would be in the future. But
there's a big market out there for horror movies. It's not $1 million movie like A Nightmare on Elm Street or The Fly, like David Cronenberg's movies, but it will make lots of money.
All right.
Go get him, Barry.
It's awesome. I mean, obviously he's more of like the heavy metal parking lot sort of side of that coin, which I love. And Barry's very endearing, but that's kind of, he is the face of things, man, and that's kind of where he's coming from. So, and he's of course the star of the film. So,
it's so cool to see that. It's amazing.
We, I'm going to kick this ball off to you, both of you. Maybe Joey, let's start here with this, because I think where you guys were going was just the general surreal tone of this movie, because it really has like you were saying, with taking things out of the fridge. I mean, not only does he take the tape recorder out of the fridge, but he puts his coat, takes his coat off and puts it in the fridge.
Yeah, he does.
There are sequences where one guy sees a spider crawling on a table and puts it in his friend's sandwich, and he's eating a spider sandwich. Like, this movie gets pretty fucking far out. So, I don't know.
Just to fuck with you, the spider, it's like, it's enough to make you think it has some connection to these spider-like creatures. Right. Like there's enough there, the way that it's done in such a way that you have no idea if it's a throwaway or if it's leading to something that's like really significant. But the movie also has, I mean, all of this is to kind of really say it really feels sort of nightmarish, because it's offering you things that are familiar, but it's not playing by any conceivable rule of just basic grammar of film or even human emotion. But I don't even say that as a diss. It turns to me, it makes that movie churn in a way that's like
cooler,
hard to just, it's way cooler. It's atmospheric. I mean, like, but the movie has this level where it's like almost like taking the rug out from under itself, like, and it's, and there's these contradictory moments that I think are, at the end of the day, there's no way to reconcile them, but it's just like kind of part of the flavor and fun of it. And it's like, well, maybe this happened and maybe it's all a dream, but it's like you, and maybe it is, but it's like, you just can't really know with things.
Well, how about this? To speak to what you're saying, one thing that always hit me the first time I saw it, the commentary, and just now rewatching it, it starts off, like I said, on the wrong foot, running right at you. And it's like, if you just break down the components of what's happening in the beginning, first of all, the credits happen twice.
Yeah.
It says
2 title drops.
It's an explosion. It opens with an explosion. Frame one.
Nuclear explosion, eh? Yeah, totally. Nuclear explosion. But then, so just getting into the nitty-gritty of the components, because, with a film, pretty standard, it's like, where are we? Right? Typical. Who is this? Who is that? What are they doing? Right? Okay. So you're, immediately the film drops you into a basement, and there's some weird guy you don't want to hang out with anywhere, especially a basement. And then there's a woman with like a devil mask. And who are they to each other? Is she real? What happened to her? What's going on? It gets sexual. She's naked, and he's like, "Let's do it" or something. And it's really gnarly.
I said I wanted you to have my baby. I have your baby.
And you're just like repulsed. And then she just pulls the rug out from under you, and just goes like, "No, we don't have to have sex. Here's baby." And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's pretty twisted.
Like, the film, like you said, pulls the rug from under itself, So anyway, that's like the first 2 minutes. And then, so it's like, you can't go back to, like establishing shots and, narrative development and boilerplate, time and
doesn't
place.
Work.
Yeah, detectives,
Well, and then of course we get to that right after that crazy setup. We get into the
exposition,
friends hanging out stuff, which is probably my favorite parts of the movie.
You love that stuff. I
love it too. But there's this crazy transition. Sandwiches. There's a crazy transition that happens where we see this like 5-minute gore fest,
a monster gore scene. Well, I'm going to ask you guys that because I'm just going to read my notes and I'll shut up because I'm asking the question. So I got confused because they mention a bestiality network in New York, and I was just like, excuse me, like they're kind of referencing like a Videodrome is happening in Manhattan or something. It's like, like people getting torn apart and killed. And I got confused and I went, oh, and then when I watched it the second time, I went, oh, is that what they're talking about? The bestiality network is the intro that we see that it's like monster extreme gore. But no, the bestiality network, maybe I'm wrong, is referenced in the Groundhog's Day massacre that we see, on the screen.
Yeah, they're watching that. Yeah, they're watching that.
They're watching that, and that's the network, I guess. So total mystification. That's like my big question.
No.
What, if anything, does that gore segment have to do with anything?
I mean, can I set it up for you, Joey? I'm going to set it up for you. If you know, I just want to clarify that's not how I read it. That's not how I read it. I read it, which in a much more demented sense, that whole torture scene was inside the closet, was happening inside the closet. Am I wrong in that, or am I just totally fucked up?
Wow.
Shit. Okay. See, I thought it was like.
So I thought on this last rewatch, I saw one of the guys, the guy with the glasses. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Is that Doug?
I can't remember. Well, I'll cut to the footage. That like you see this gore scene.
Lead.
Yeah, you see this.
I know.
No, you see this. You see this torture scene. It's so fucking gnarly. It's like some total burning moon shit. And then all of a sudden,
big time.
And then all of a sudden, like you see it like cuts, and then the other guy like closes the closet door, almost as if like all of that surreal nightmare is happening inside the closet.
Yeah.
Can I build on that with a 2-second observation? There's a creepy moment when with the closed door, they're both looking at it, and someone's going like, "Hey, you're a kindergarten artist?" I don't know what that means. And then he says, yeah, that's because that's when we raped like my little sister. No, sorry. Whoa, whoops. That's when we tortured and ate like my little sister or something. And then I thought, so that speaks to your thing, Evan, which is like there's some hell on the other side of that door.
I think the experiments are happening on the other side of the closet door. That's what's happening.
I just think that's so I think, Evan, we could wedge this together because I think exactly correct. It's happened in another room, but I think it's a flashback, but it's in that room. I don't think it's happening.
Okay.
Well, he says in the past tense.
The
torture and eating is in the past tense.
Yeah, so I think it's a flashback, but you're absolutely, I think I'm right there with you with location. And
why the flashback?
Why they like who knows, I mean,
cool.
I think it is cool.
Yeah,
really just squeeze us in such where if I can wedge this in here really when last time I saw things, there's a part like leading up to this when I saw it this last time, there was a good 9-minute chunk of the movie that starts about 40 minutes in, and I think that for a first viewer, it's like I would really want them to concentrate on this 9-minute sequence because I adore it so much. And I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna hopefully
do you want to talk over it?
Clip just to
you want to just talk over it? You should just talk
let
over
me
it.
just set it up though. Let me just say one thing before you start it, because I just want this to be clear that this comes out of nowhere. That what in keeping with the tradition of things,
but out of nowhere from nowhere, which is this.
Yes,
film.
exactly. So like, what is going on is that they approach a room, they hear that it's full of things, these creatures that are going to kill them. They're like, let's deal with this later. And so then they go into the kitchen and they start drinking, and then one of them has to take a piss, and they're both too scared to go to the bathroom, so they go together. They then realize all the lights are out, so they need a flashlight. They go back into the kitchen, and then time stops.
Yeah,
and it turns into this for 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and
it's their Evil Dead.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And I do want to just say, as a quick, just to get it in the show, when they do go into the bathroom and they see the thing on the toilet, that's in the moment you're talking about, right? And they see the thing, the creature on the toilet seat, and then the main guy, my favorite guy in the movie, not Barry Gillis, but the guy with the glasses, he goes, oh,
I know.
That's his reaction to seeing that.
Which is so
Yeah.
weird.
It makes I actually solved that riddle.
Okay.
It's because it's a letdown because it's like you watch that I dare anybody not to be why is he reacting like that? But it's like because he's seen the thing is supposed to be shitting. The thing is taking a shit on the toilet and he's laughing that the thing is shitting. Right.
I never would have.
Of course.
Yeah.
That
it's
is
toilet humor.
Yeah.
I have a note that just says the humor of things. Like as a possible topic. Because they have a lot of bad jokes and groaners. Like he gets his head hammered in and it's like, hey, I wanted to get hammered, but not like that.
Okay,
I know.
Very trauma. It's like a trauma thing.
And Herschel Gordon Lewis kind of
but
particularly just like enjoy the silence of this and the ambience. It's just like the movie is just like clicks into a different gear.
We'll talk over it because clock's running.
Okay. So they're looking for the things, but I just want to give it its sonic.
This is what you said to me. I know. I don't want to cannibalize it too much, but where Evil Dead is an influence, you pointed out that this is an Alien influence, like the movie.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're doing Alien here.
Look at that.
But Alien is building up
the toilet plunger.
but because it doesn't have the plot like structure of Alien, it just becomes David Lynch or something that's like just sort of this exists,
Nothing's ever in context with anything. That's no, but I think you're onto something. This is the explore. It's after the first killing in Harry Dean Stanton's killing.
Also, we should mention
for the alien.
This is
great.
This is
shots they're shooting more than they need, so it's like a stylistic. I mean, I almost would give them the benefit of the doubt. Those two shots of those guys like meeting in the hallway, they cover that in like 5 different angles. It's like there's something going on that feels kind of artistically motivated there.
We also should say too that this is a single location film. For most of it is a single location film.
Yes.
So
it's someone's parents' house, right?
It's someone's house. Yeah.
Yes, we know that for a fact.
We do.
Definitely okay.
Yeah.
So, but you have to get the most out of it, and that scene really does. Okay,
big time.
Real
it might
quick,
be a friend's house, but nevertheless, it's
someone's house. Okay, now clock is dying here. I want to get this in. So we're talking surrealism. Okay, we had the torture chamber in the closet. There's even a reference that they make about one of the paintings. They even say Salvador Dali. They even name drop his name. So it begs the question of how much of the surrealism in this film of the dreamlike reality is actually intentional or not, which is amazing. And Tom, you said on the commentary, which I think was a very good observation, you said that all the scenes of them hanging out feel like where they're drinking beers. Like I think there's one point where he fills up his beer with water and starts drinking. It's so weird. But
that's right.
You said in the commentary, it all feels like it's happening at 4 a.m. when the party's over, which is totally what this movie really feels like.
And probably was. They're probably cranking this thing out middle of the night,
Oh, totally. 100%.
But it's like the last stragglers on the couch, like long after a real party's happened.
100%.
They're still holding on. Yeah.
100%. And this is the birth of this commentary that you did, Tom, and dissecting this movie in real time and talking about the sort of surrealism in this movie, the dirtbag surrealism in this movie. This is the birth. This is the birth of one of my favorite Tomisms because you coined it, and I'm going to play the clip right now. You coined it in the commentary as gatefold fixations, which I just want to throw to real quick because it's great. So here we go again. Here's Tom on commentary over 10 years ago talking about things and the surrealism. Here we go.
It kind of reminds me too of metalheads who really stare too long at like gatefolds from like Uriah Heep albums. Where there's like a demon on top of the mountain and there's like a severed head in the woods and and I love that. So don't get it twisted. That's like kind of my favorite thing ever, which is I call it's like staring on mescaline at like Blue Oyster Cult album covers, but they're like pizza delivery boys from like New Jersey. That's kind of like my favorite thing ever, and that's one of the reasons I love Things is it has that kind of pizza delivery boy surrealism.
Boy, I really drove that home, didn't I?
Yeah, but that is what it is. That is what it is.
Yeah,
So,
it is that.
But it is,
and that
it is.
masculine hallucinogenic aspect is. And you know what? Like, also just to put a finer point, because like there are hallucinogenic aspects to this, no doubt. But then, as I was watching that clip, it's like if you've ever taken a hallucinogenic, and if someone was to film you, it would look like silly, mundane stuff, like him flicking that lamp and seeing it move. Like that's what psychedelics are more like from the, so there's this multitude of hallucinogenic aspects to things,
100%.
Like the mundane is just everything's off because of the way things are. The way the film is made, it's like anything happening, including like some white bread sandwiches on a plate. It's just like, whoa,
it's the weirdest one you've seen. Yeah,
and everything's like. Yeah, because the context throws it, which is the acid context, so that like the film is on acid, is what I'm trying to say. So that everything is being processed through this huge, bizarre psychedelic filter.
And we're on fucking drugs too, because I think at a certain point in time, like half an hour mark, you feel the things drug itself hitting you, and honestly, Barry Gillis's fucking haircut starts changing in the middle of the goddamn movie too, where like his mullet size changes from like shot to shot, and you're like, whoa,
I love that.
Melting.
Can I just make an observation too? Just last little thing. I went crazy before and said, I love this movie in the commentary, and it was right when the film opens up and you leave the house. Which is kind of a very acid thing too. Like if you're like doing acid and like you're stuck in this party in this kitchen. I've never really quite had that experience, but I'm just saying that kind of feeling where you're high and weirded out and you're kind of like feeling sort of unconsciously trapped in this environment that you're in. And then you go outside and it's like, a gas station or something. But it's just like, outside. So that's when I went up, that's when I lit up in the commentary because like, and he's just running and it almost feels like, what am I trying to say? It's all so abstract, but like it feels like he's escaping the film and running.
Totally.
The woods. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, like the chain, like the Leatherface is.
It is
the
Texas Chainsaw,
and one last
she's
observation
because they're doing that, in a way.
No, they are. No, but one last observation that kind of seals it for me in this, like it's bifurcated where the like everything is in that horrible claustrophobic house, and then you're free, and in the woods. You hear his voice for the first time in the scenes outside, and then they're not doing ADR.
Can you hear me?
Hey, buddy, you all right?
And they somehow recorded the Super 8, and it's weird. It's in its own way disorienting because it's the first time you're hearing reality.
God, that works.
And Evan, do we know why? I think I stumbled on a concrete answer, but if you have one
about Super 8,
the audio.
Oh, well, first let's just back up for a second here, brother, because you asked me before we recorded the $1 million question, which was about why they shot it on Super 8 and not home video in 1989, right? Because we're talking 1989, right? That's a little late to be shooting Super 8. So anyway, the answer to that question is kind of interesting because Barry Gillis, thought that it would basically separate themselves in the distribution space, being able to shoot it on film. And I actually asked Barry Gillis this question for you, Joey. I asked him yesterday about this.
Breaking news.
This is breaking news.
This is from Amber Lynn, right?
This is from Amber Lynn.
Not this news report.
But yeah, Barry Gillis says, we believe that, he said yesterday, we believe that we would not be able to get a distributor if we shot on video as opposed to film. So we shot everything on Super 8 with the exception of Amber Lynn, like I said, on 60mm. So she would show up, which is amazing. And the fact that we had a Super 8 camera, LOL. So we noticed a lot of films were being shot on video and wanted to separate ourselves from the shot on video productions that were coming out on VHS. The actual film itself looks amazing, but he said this, he was very bummed out, and they all were, with the transfer they had, which really looked muddy and garbage at the time.
Yeah,
especially Super 8 transfers.
They're bad.
Well, they might have gotten like a
Super 8 transfer
at the time. Like I don't know their resources, but they probably just took it to the malls, the photo mat at the mall.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the Kodak, one day processing.
Super 8's for home videos. It's for home video shit. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because like what I'm saying is they didn't send it to like Manhattan.
Right.
No. I actually did some Super 8 stuff around that time, but I was taking it to Manhattan, and those were pros who were transferring the footage. I'm just saying they probably were stuck with whatever mall options. Let's put it that way.
Right. So I think that we should convince Andrew Jordan to dig out those fucking reels, and we can get that shit 4K. 4K would look amazing. Let's fucking do it. Andrew Jordan, hit me up. Blow up my phone.
And
go ahead.
And the thing with the audio, though, where, I mean, again, we need this restoration is I heard that they recorded the audio, but as Tom, you're almost like hinting at earlier, it was because of that 60 hertz hum.
Okay.
It made the audio, and the reason why you could hear him outside in the outside stuff is because it was outside, so they didn't have that 60 hertz hum.
Got it.
Yes. And
it's that simple.
But
it always
maybe
is simple.
Barry, if you're listening to this, do you still have that original audio? Because we could take that 60 hertz hum out, no problem.
That's true.
That's
Modern
true.
Technology.
Damn, that would be insane.
And not to say I would want to trample on
It'd be a
on
second
his
version.
history, but it would be a second version.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh,
it would be
OG
cool.
things. Whoa.
Yeah.
And speaking of sound, I would be remiss to talk about if we didn't talk about the Foley of this film.
Oh,
yes.
I have one anecdote. I mean, you lay it on, and I just have one observation. Actually, just side note, this observation was assisted by, I actually watched the riff tracks. Those old Mystery Science Theater guys did things earlier this year.
Amazing.
And it wasn't too bad. I just watched it. Anyway, they pointed out some monster Foleying action in the scene where he's wiping the blood in the kitchen, wiping the blood off his hand, his arm. And it sounds like someone is like using sandpaper on like an oak tree or something like that. It's like and it's like, and they're right. And I listened to it over and over, and it's like so Martian. It's so from Neptune. To have anyone seriously go, hey, I think that's good. I think we're done with the Foley.
I know.
It's like, because it sounds totally unlike the soft, quiet brushing of a towel on skin.
They went to town on the Foley. They went to town on the Foley.
Dude, the sound of the things, like that mechanical like cat sound. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But like
Isn't
the
there
sound
farting?
that the creatures make. Oh yeah, he put
There's like
farting
two
in.
fart sounds.
Of
There's
course.
farting.
Of course. But yeah. So the fucking Foley is incredible. Shout out to that. But we also got to make sure we spend a little bit of time talking about the music as the clock is dying, because the music is incredible. It's that amazing bedroom lo-fi dime store. You got yourself in a tailspin. Since you taken your life. As you said, unintentional post-punk, unintentional, It's incredible. I mean, the texture of the music in this movie really is on another level. It could be a Chrome
And
album.
it's by Strychnine, but not the spelling that your mom and dad, the way they spelled
Yeah,
strychnine.
not your grandma's.
Yeah, not your grandma's strychnine spelling. It's strick
Edgy.
and then
90s.
strick, and then it looks like strike, strick, and then the number 9 numerical.
Number 9.
I have
And also
observation-
Familiar Strangers. Just to clarify,
Oh,
there's
okay. Yeah, I keep forgetting.
and there's some confusion as to who's does what tracks.
Yeah.
I don't really know the answer to that, but
No, I
they
don't
are.
either.
It's Strychnine and Familiar Strangers, and I think that they're both. One of them is Doug, whoever plays Doug. I think
Doug
is
Bunston.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know
Of
more
course,
about
that's
that?
his name.
Well, Doug Bunston is one of the
Sounds like
the
like Homer's friend or something in Simpsons.
Doug Bunston's
Doug Bunston.
Oh, Doug.
Sorry.
No, but Doug is
that's Doug Bunston over there.
Yeah. He's one of the musicians behind a lot of these tracks, which is amazing. But shout out to the fucking music.
Well, there's a couple of things actually. There's the I'm assuming that Strychnine doing that like stuff I was saying, accidental post-punk and like the really gnarl stuff, which I love. But then there's some kind of sweet tunefulness, and there's this totally inappropriate doo-wop moment.
You have to mend your hand together. This is gonna hurt me a lot more than it's gonna hurt you. I know it's gonna hurt. Just
there's straight up doo-wop happening. But then I was gonna say that the closing credits song reminds me. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but the Donnie and Joe song "Baby."
Oh yeah.
It's got very famous. And like, Yeah. And that kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, this is actually kind of cool. Like,
no, it's a hidden gem. It's such a good pop tune,
right?
I think.
It is.
No, like the eclecticism of the score is just like almost like unparalleled to me because or at least it hits all my weird quadrant interests. Like great 70s pop tune, ambient darkness. It even has like a kind of guitar drone like. Instrumentation, the weird Casio, like lo-fi stuff that everyone was talking about, and like there's some like kind of psychedelic Black Sabbath-y shit. And they even name check Black Sabbath in the credits. So I mean,
of course, as an inspiration.
That's right. Yeah, and it's like to Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath.
yeah.
And what's that's the Barry Gillis influence, the Tony Iommi, because in his follow-up film, Barry Gillis directed a movie called Wicked World, which I just have to shout out for 2 seconds. I urge everybody listening to this to pick up a copy of Wicked World. Tom, you got to see this ASAP if you've never seen it.
Sure, yeah.
But the movie, obviously, a Black Sabbath song title, Wicked World, and the movie it opens up, with the Ozzy, the Ozzy lyrics, and of course it's dedicated to Tony Iommi, and it's fucking awesome. Wicked World. Everybody get off your ass, get a copy of Wicked World pronto. That's all. It
doesn't have Andy. It's Barry rode the train.
Well, we should say just real quick and then done. Barry Gillis has gone on to make several films since Wicked World and things, and he actually has a movie coming out, which is kind of a bizarre cross, weird coincidental crossing of the worlds colliding here for a minute for me personally, because Barry Gillis is directing a film coming out called Tales from the Dead Zone, which stars professional wrestler Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
What?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm going to insert
pushing all the Evan buttons. Yeah.
Inserting clip from that right here.
And I know when somebody's fucking lying to me. I am a one-man wrecking crew.
Okay. Sorry, that was great, wasn't it? Okay.
Sure.
So,
great clip.
One last observation. I have one last little observation just to get in here is
hit it.
The Canadianness of this movie is kind of unparalleled in some ways.
Off the charts.
And
Bob and Doug time.
Yeah, and I can relate to it, being, from Minnesota and the harsh winters. And I think that the sort of dreamlike quality of this movie also lends itself to these guys it's almost like feels like they have cabin fever. It almost feels like a cabin fever
I was thinking that.
type of movie. And I think that's very relatable for most Canadians because of the harsh Canadian winter, the madness, and the crazy that you go from the wild, out of control craziness you go from being cooped up for so long, for 6 months, 7 months out of the year. And I think that's kind of reflected in this movie in a very, spot on.
Going stir crazy in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've never had that. I never had a Canadian winter under my belt.
Oh, brother.
But I can only imagine the claustrophobia of it all. Because the film for me, one of the big takeaways when I first saw it, and now it's like it does have this claustrophobia. It's like. It almost feels like that house is getting smaller or something and weirder. It's just like so oppressive,
Well,
and
the fact,
again, that's why. I respond
audio.
when he leaves.
Yeah, when he leaves the house and his voice works.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like spring has sprung for Barry Gillis.
There's an enigma of concoctions that it's like there's certain ineptitudes that would throw such like that are predictable, and then there's the people that made the movies and their interests and what they wanted to make. And when you they're on the first watch of things, it was just like very clear that there is a kind of group effort like that is beyond even the filmmakers. It's like almost like the manufacturing of things came from a multitude of places that make the movie feel like almost unknowable to a certain degree, because like you never really feel like you're touching ground in the movie. There's always these like kind of layers that kind of bump you back out or make you question your own reality watching the movie, like the news footage. But even the nature of the audio feels like a commentary track as you're watching the movie.
No, I mean,
it's like so bizarre.
When that surgeon comes in, it's like it just jumps into overdrive.
That's human blood, all right. What made you do such a brutal crime?
What made me do it? Your experiment fucked up and you're blaming me? You're the madman!
The disorientation, it's just like...
Dude, I know.
And you played that already, the clip when he walks in and he's speaking almost like a cartoon character, like, hey, there's a whole bunch of blood and and
it's great fourth act, right,
exactly. And it's just like everything is getting amped up a notch, and it's super gory, and it's like this new person, and it's not helpful to the plot, really. But it is just like, I had a note. It's just like it doesn't look like this guy's taking the film very seriously. It's like he's just visiting insanity, and he's just like, you guys are nuts. And there's fake blood all over the floor, and wabadoo, and then he leaves.
If I can, we have 1 minute left on the clock. I just want to close it with this. I love things. Do you guys like things? Do you guys love things like I love things?
I love things.
Well, give me some more.
I'll declare my love to things.
Oh, I thought we were just declaring. No, I mean, I've how many thousands of movies have we seen, and like I come back to this movie, if I meet a new person that I think would respond to it, I show it to them. I think that there are few movies that I do that with, and this movie stood the test of time in my life. I stole it. I mean, I
committed a crime.
Yeah, I fucking love it. It's sort of like I understand of like what's possible in a movie, like in like a kind of experience watching movies, and in that sense, it is kind of like an optimistic watch. Like if like once you watch it, you feel like anything is really possible within. Like there's no amount of technical skill. Yeah, like anything just happened once you experience things.
What's the last? What's the credit?
I'll be okay.
You have just
experienced things. Oh.
Beautifully put.
Beautifully put. Excellent.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Right when the clock hits.
Amazing. I just I had like a little weird internet snipe for a minute there. My internet went a little unstable, but I think it actually remixed y'all's audio to be like, and it was actually very things. It was perfect. It added to the experience.
Great.
That's a very things appropriate.
Yeah,
exactly.
it was.
Yes.
It was like the internet remixed you guys for like 5 seconds. It was perfect. All right.
Okay.
Well, that was 1 fucking hour on things. It didn't mess up the penultimate ending few seconds there. It was just during the Joey committed a crime on behalf of this movie part, but it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay. All right.
Good
again,
to glitch.
It's
good to glitch.
How appropriate. Yeah.
It is. So anyway, that was 1 fucking hour on things, guys. I had a blast as always.
So fun.
That was so fun
talking about this.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you back, Joey.
Oh,
yeah,
Joey.
that was great.
Joey, you're always, the door's always open, Joey. Joey, you want to come on the
brother.
show? The
Thank
door's
you.
always open.
Right.
Much respect.
When you hear your family, like Olive Garden. So, and Marcus will be back. I think he's getting paroled.
I'll be
next week. So
sprung.
See this. report
Well,
probate.
he's held up at the Dr. Oz rally, I think, rally right now. I think.
Right.
Yeah,
He's doing a fundraiser for Dr. Oz.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway,
We'll be wrapping up soon.
Okay. So, guys, in preparation for tonight's episode, and this also includes Marcus, who's not with us right now, but I took it upon myself to send each of you. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. To send each of you a things-related gift. Let's hold up the boxes, Joey.
I got a thing in the mail.
Okay, so yeah, show up your box there. Everyone's got their boxes, right? We all got our boxes. Okay.
Yes.
So I sent a little things-related gift to everybody here. Marcus has one too, and Marcus is going to send in a video of him.
Hey everybody, Marcus here from One Fucking Hour, about to do the official unboxing of the mystery package that Evan sent me a few weeks ago. It's a little dusty. It's been in my garage for a couple weeks, but it's okay. We're going to get it out of this box now.
This is our first One Fucking Hour unboxing video, y'all. So, wait, what is that?
I'm opening it with my Carter Mondale 1980 knife.
That's pretty good.
Of course I have.
Okay, so let's open your One Fucking Hour unboxing.
I have a theory about what this is.
Here we
but
go.
I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're about
Little
to find
gift
out.
for everybody.
All right.
So,
dude, so generous. Thank you.
Here. Oh my God! Ow! God, I can't believe I just did that. Oh my God! It looks. I think that looked worse than it was, though. I can try to get through the rest of this. So, okay. So, well, God, what's in here?
Things.
Fucking way. No fucking way.
Well, hold on. Wait till.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I haven't shown
all right, show it.
Vinyl. It's
Show it.
even on vinyl.
All right.
Show it.
Wow,
Joey, show it. Show it.
dude. All right, here we go.
Wow.
Holy shit! Did you have a hand in this, Evan?
I didn't.
It's like the main thing in here is the amazing Things soundtrack on vinyl. All right. Please tell me it has the refrigerator song in it. Oh my God. Dude, you're not going to believe this. Looks like disc 1's still okay, though. All right. Well, I guess I'll listen to disc 1, but Things soundtrack on vinyl from Terrorvision Records. Thank you, guys.
But
really?
I saw, we should mention for the people listening on Spotify, this is the Things double LP. Is it double LP soundtrack? Yes.
It feels thick.
Double LP soundtrack to Things.
Wait,
absolutely.
And there's this.
Dude, this is what I was freaking out about.
That's amazing.
The certificate of insanity.
This is amazing.
And it's signed by Barry and Andrew.
That's amazing. Oh, wait, Joey, show yours.
Dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
Holy shit.
Oh,
this is so sick.
That's cool. That's actually very cool.
Oh,
I gotta
this
get
is
mine.
very cool.
I love that.
Dude,
Whoa.
certificate of insanity.
This is like a Halloween Christmas or something.
It is.
Dude, what awesome dude.
So I said this during the commentary like a decade ago. Like, this would be cool. Release the soundtrack.
That's why I put that in there.
You did. You fucking called it.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
You called it. And I'm so glad because this will answer so many questions about who does what music because it's all so good.
I hope.
I don't know. There's 3 people credited.
Wow.
Familiar Strain. Oh yeah, Jack Rocher, I think, does some of that gnarly guitar stuff.
Okay.
And I think I'm not sure who he is actually.
God,
but this is so
sick.
cool. This looks great too. Good job.
Yeah, they did a great
You guys,
job.
whoever did
Shout
this.
out to
Shout
out to actually I should shout out the label right now. I want to give a special shout out to Terror Vision. They're the label behind this. These guys, I just want to say, I just reached out to them and I said, I need to buy 4 of these. I need to ship them out now. And don't put your address, put my address as the return address so these guys don't know what the fuck it is. And he complied. He complied with that. So shout out to Terror Vision. You guys are the best.
Terror Vision.
This is a great...
dude.
Guys, it's got Tailspin Reprise. So you got like extra Tailspin.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Tailspin, but that's also a fucking track.
You got yourself in a tailspin. Yeah. So,
Hey, and you know what it has? It has a gatefold.
Yeah.
So we can smoke bad weed and be coming down from mescaline and stare gatefold.
Wow.
Come on.
This gatefold
Dude,
is
you
insane.
cracked it open. Let me crack it open.
Wow, it
Wow,
is.
that looks amazing.
Whoa.
Wow, that looks great.
This is kind of a pizza delivery boy on acid bug out kind of gatefold.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's so cool.
Really
Killer. We got to unbox it if we're unboxing it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we gotta.
God. Oh, dude, obviously, like, they got the purple
Oh,
vinyl.
there's more.
Purple.
Yeah, no, I know. There's the sleeves.
Like back
with some
matter?
really good, like really big, blow-ups of, Super 8 stills and shit.
Oh,
That's
really?
killer.
Yeah, there's like
Oh, yeah,
Don
there's
or
sleeves here.
Don or Doug or whatever.
That's amazing.
Got the sleeves jumping off.
good.
Yeah, this is we didn't cut any corners. This is a big, legit release.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say right now, shout out to TerraVision. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to order. You guys got to order this. Like, even if you've never seen the movie.
This is
just
a must. Must
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
Even
Trust
if you
me.
hate the movie, you'll
Yeah.
love the soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this
Yeah, get the
fucking
soundtrack.
thing. Look at that
Bruce
fucking.
Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a group photo. Ooh, there's a killer. Maybe I'm sure you guys have seen this, I guess. But that group shot
Oh.
You see that?
Oh.
Of them all wielding power drills.
Oh.
That's fucking
Doug and
incredible.
Don and
That's-
Danny and all these other.
Dang and
Yeah.
Dang and Doug and Bunston and yeah, that's
Danny and Dougie.
so. There we go, guys. I
Very
got
cool.
it.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, of
Dude,
course.
thank you, Evan. What a
Of
dream
course.
come true. 15 years later,
I know. Here it is.
we're still
Finally.
doing things.
Oh yeah, and it is. Is it? It's colored vinyl.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It's so deluxe. So
It's
is this
super-
like on Amazon? Like, how can people get this?
Well, I said I'd put the link in the description. I think you can order directly through the label TerraVision, terror-vision.com.
And you know what? Christmas is right around the corner.
This is a
I'm not even
great
joking.
gift. Trust
Stocking
me.
stuffer.
Great gift.
If you have someone who's mentally disabled, who's going through a lot of mental illness, Merry Christmas.
This undoes all of it. Yes,
It'll
exactly.
be their new theme song of their life.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go, guys. Enjoy that.
really great.
Thread that
Wow.
up.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Evan.
Oh, of course.
And
Of
then
course.
and we're going to cut in Marcus's
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
so
Marcus
that's
is
gonna
like,
happen.
what is this?
No. He
no,
watched
I'm kidding.
things.
He did? He watched
Yeah, he
it?
said so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful.
With Herschel Walker. Him and Herschel Walker were before the Dr. Oz, right?
Marcus is gonna
game.
Marcus is gonna
Right.
kill us. Okay. All right. Well, that was one fucking hour on things. A little unboxing vid for y'all. It's been an amazing one fucking Tober. Just a little shout out to all of us here who participated in the one fucking Tober. We did it. We blitzed 4 horror films in a row.
Yeah, it was great. Really
hey,
fun.
This is also a celebration of one fucking year of one fucking hour as well too.
Right.
So
We're entering year 2 right now.
This is
you know,
this is
our
it.
humble beginnings of
This is it.
October 2021, and then well, that's the thing. The gravy train is still chugging on down the line.
Yeah,
because we have one more bite at the Fucktober apple.
We do,
so to speak.
We do,
and
yeah.
But what are we doing, Evan?
So
next
we're
week.
gonna do
Next week.
we're gonna do something. Yeah, next week there is actually a 5th week in October this year. So we're gonna do one more episode to cap off one fucking Tober, and I'm very excited about it. We're gonna switch up the format a little bit here. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try something new, which I think is gonna be fun for people who listen to the show. We drop a lot of references to some weird ass flicks we've seen over the years. So I thought it would be a good, cool, fun idea for you, me, Marcus, to spend the hour going around round robin, talking about our respective top 10 underrated horror films of all time.
Our individual top 10 underrated horror. So films that aren't like on the tip of every horror fan's tongue. They're like some deeper cuts.
Yeah.
You know? And we're cooking up the list as we speak.
And I will allow and this is my rules, I will allow some wiggle with the term horror. So I think that can be interpreted in some different ways. Yeah, so I think that's a little loose. I think that's okay. But each of us are going to show up with our own top 10 lists next week, a week from today, as this episode drops, which will be October 31st. So it'll drop on October 31st.
Be Halloween, yeah.
Yep, and you're going to get our 10 favorite underrated horror films. And Joey, shout out to you because you're here. Because I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask Ramey, I'm going to ask Lars, anyone who's ever guested on the show is going to have to mail in their number one underrated horror film pick as a video, and we're going to play it at the end. So send that to me. That's your homework assignment, Joey. You have to send this in your top 100 or your top
whatever you'd like to
top one underrated.
Yeah, and we can have doubles. We already figured there might be a double here and there.
Well, we're not going to know what each other picked. We're not going to know what each other picked. That's what it is.
Secret Santa.
That's part of the fun is seeing the overlap too.
Yeah, seeing the overlap.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, lists are fun.
That's great.
They're dumb. Lists are dumb, but they're fun, and we're gonna have some fun next week. Take the week off and do a top 10, our individual top 10 underrated horror films of all time. So that's gonna be very exciting. It's a weird new format. We're gonna try it. We'll see what happens. Deep cuts all around, sprinkled all around. So, all right, and then we'll be getting back to our regularly scheduled programming going into November. And blah 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 blah. So,
and who knows what the hell's next? So.
Exactly.
We discussed that.
Now we have guys. Before we send everybody home, packing with their beautiful things soundtracks that they all have now and have pre-ordered or ordered now directly from TerrorVision. I have two moments prepared. For tonight,
isn't things just one big moment? I mean,
dude, that's the way to say it. That would have saved us an hour.
I know. Yeah, good night, everybody. But yeah, no, sorry.
No, things is definitely a moment. It's a wonderful moment. But I have two little ephemera things that I want to play for the end of this show.
Cool.
And I want to set them both up if I can, gentlemen. Number one, I want to watch with you guys as a moment that we'll watch together. That's fun. And then I'm going to send everybody home with why we call Toby Hooper Toby Hoopy. Okay.
Oh, great.
We've talked about this for a year now, but Barry Gillis, that beautiful Barry Gillis, is the reason that we refer to Toby Hooper as Toby Hoopy. As I've referenced many times in my dealings with Barry, which was a wonderful experience releasing things. It was kind of a slip of the tongue, but at one point in time, Barry actually had a chance to sit down with Toby Hooper at a horror convention and show him the trailer to Things, in which Toby Hooper responded. It was like a reaction video. It was a Toby Hooper reaction video where... He basically responded with "far out, man," which is amazing. And when I asked Barry what special features he had for the DVD that we were preparing, he said, "Oh, I sat down with Toby Hoopy, and and the rest is history." So we're gonna
that's what it was.
We're going to show that as the second moment, but the first moment, let's strap in together and watch this. Now, we mentioned that Barry Gillis has other film projects he's done since Things, since Wicked World, but this is one project that he has done that didn't go anywhere. This was a financer reel. This was a kind of shot to raise financing. Yeah, get ready, strap in. And I cut it down some just for the show,
amazing.
But here is a real
corporate video.
Here is a reel that he put together in order to raise financing for a movie that he wanted to make called Evil Island. Okay, so get ready for Evil Island. Here we go.
3 men escaped from Alcatraz. Only one survived. This is how it begins. On Evil Island, Barry J. Gillis left the woman of his dreams behind. Without a prayer, he'll try to stop the madness of Evil Island.
Evil, 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 evil.
My new ringtone.
Unreal.
This is how it ends.
There you
What
go.
ends?
So sick.
Well, that's how that ends. You know what? He should make a movie called Killer Casio. And it's like it's a Casio possessed by Satan, and it bleeds and stuff. What do you guys think?
It's like his signature. Yeah, that'd be great.
I actually have.
That's awesome,
guys. Still on my phone from fucking 12 years ago. I still
this.
have
I remember.
I still have my thing tones, Joey. This is actually
what?
Yeah, I should send you guys these. Here's my thing tone. Check it out.
I think you gave it to me. Yep, murder. So funny.
That's fucking great.
Do you know if that stuff's on the soundtrack?
I don't know.
Probably
I don't
not.
know. I don't know. But if I can figure out my thing tones, I'll release them to y'all out there in the world. But anyway,
Please
we've
do.
run long enough. We've had a party here, but
Yeah.
it's been a blast. And now for your one true moment of Zen. Okay, everybody, we will see you next week for our top 10 underrated horror movies. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And man, what a great show. What a great show. What a great show.
It was so fun.
All right, everybody. We will talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Kill.
Anyway, that's
Far
our
out, far out.
Stardust.
Wow.
It's done on a really low
Dude.
budget, but it's got a cult status. It was done on really dirt money.
I'm totally fascinated. You know, because I've been seeing stills from these lower budget films, and even in Fangoria,
Right.
and I wondered how they play out, because it's basically you're cutting to the chase, giving the audience what it is they really want, and plenty of it. Yeah, and good. I mean, it's like and bypassing even worrying about getting a rating.
Yeah, we didn't.
And so, I mean, you're giving them what they want. And I'm sitting here fascinated, think, wow,
How
the
does
guy's
one go-
puking, the guy's getting chopped up, he's getting.
Like to say before we let you go?
Well, I way like what I've seen, and I think this is a way cool, far out thing. And
It has a cult
there's
status right now.
I mean, it's
We're gonna give you a couple DVDs. At some point in the future, you can take a look at it if you want. We're hoping you have a few drinks before you watch it, because a lot of people have a couple drinks. I'm not sure if you drink or not.
Actually, I don't.
Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.
That was wicked, man.